Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevo, my Uto, Leolam Vaye. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our Yah, the Lord is one. Blessed be the name of his glorious kingdom, forever and ever. All praises to the Most High Yah.
If I should ever leave and wanna come home, please don't close your door on me.
Yes, Yah.
If I should go astray, I know your love will make home someday.
Yes, Yah.
If I should ever leave please don't close your door on me. If I should go astray, I know your love. If I should ever leave,
Don't close the door. Oh,
if I should go astray,
and I know your love. I know your love.
if I should ever leave,
I know you will. Oh,
I should go astray.
if I should go, I know your love. If I should, I know your love. I know your love. Oh, if I should.
If I go astray, if I ever leave,
Sound the chauffeur. If I ever leave, oh, please don't close your door on me and mortified. Should go astray. I know your love will bring you home today. If I should, if I should. If I should go astray, I hear your love calling. I hear your love calling should go astray.
Y'all ready?
Let's go.
This is your wake-up call. This is your daily reminder. This is your confirmation. Turn up a little bit louder.
Hey!
This is your daily reminder. This is your confirmation. Turn up a little bit louder.
Hey!
This is your confirmation. Turn up a little bit louder. This is your wake-up call. This is your daily reminder. This is your confirmation. Turn up a little bit louder. It's time for something good. It's time for shout out.
Hey!
Something good. It's time for something good. Get ready for the phone to ring. That email is on the way. Miracles are happening. It's about to be a real good day. You waited so patiently. That blessing is on the way. Miracles are happening. It's about to be a real good day. It's about to be a real good day. It's about to be a real good something. Something good is coming to you right now. Something good. Something good is coming to you right now. Something good. Something good is coming to you right now. Something good. Something good is coming to you right now. Something good. Something good. Something good. Something good. Something good. Get ready for the phone to ring. That email is on the way. Miracles are happening. It's got to be a real good day. You waited so patiently. That blessing is on the way. Miracles are happening. It's got to be a real good day. It's got to be a real good day. It's got to be a real good day. Something good is coming to you right now. Something good. Something good is coming to you right now. Something good. Something good is coming to you right now. Something good. Something good is coming to you right now. Something good. You got to declare it.
This is your wake-up call. This is your daily reminder.
This is your confirmation. Turn up a little bit louder.
This is your daily reminder.
This is your confirmation. Turn up a little bit louder.
Hey!
Turn up a little bit louder. This is your wake-up call. This is your daily reminder. This is your confirmation. Turn up a little bit louder. It's coming to you right now. Something good. I feel it. I feel it. I feel it. Something good. Right now. Something good. Y'all don't mind if we keep this party going. Something good is coming to you right now. Something good.
Royalty.
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 Power to the chosen people.
Power to the chosen people. Bible in your hand.
Bible in my hand.
Yes.
Word inside my heart.
Yes.
And pain before my eyes. Broken people wanting to believe in something. Looking for a life. Trying to find a truth. But we give them doubt saying we do something we done. Hurting people saying we do things that we won't. Moving sheets clothing with cross in his chest. Taking people money, promising to be blessed. Power to the chosen people. Who at one point wasn't viewed as an evil. His own chosen people, a royal priesthood. That you've been called out of the darkness into the marvelous light. Do you know who you are? Royalty. Once we were the people, now we are the people. Do you know who you are? Royalty.
Royalty. Royal.
Royalty.
Royalty.
Kings and queens. Royalty. Would you let them call you those names if you knew you were a queen? And my brother, would you be out there risking your life for green paper? If you knew you had it all already, if you knew you were a king. Well, the best I can offer is to tell you the truth. Mercy changed everything for me and you. If they don't really tell us what we do need to know. First Peter 2:6, a blessing for sure. To power to the chosen people. Who at one point was a viewed as a people. His own chosen people, a royal priesthood. So that you were called out of the darkness into marvelous light. Do you know who you are? Royalty. As we were the mercy leaders, now we are the people. Do you know who you are? Royalty. 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 Royal. Royalty. Royalty. Kings and queens. Royalty. Look at yourself, take your throne, baby, you're royalty. Lift your head, come back home, brother, you're royalty. Power to the chosen people, who are his own chosen people, royal priesthood.
Royalty. Royalty. Royal.
Royalty.
Royalty.
Royalty. Power to the chosen people, who at one point wasn't beautiful. His own chosen people, royal priesthood.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Do you know who you are? Do you know who you are? It's time for you to come on out of darkness into his marvelous light. Hallelujah. On the 6th day, about to go into some sweet Sabbath rest. I'm thankful that the Most High Yah made man for the Sabbath and not Sabbath for man. Hallelujah. That he would give us rest. 6 days you shall labor, but on the 7th day shall be a Sabbath rest unto you. Thank you, Most High Yah, because you know better than we know. We be acting like sometimes we know better than the Most High. Oh, I need some Sabbath rest. For real. And I'm thanking the Most High Yah that we are about to enter into his sweet Sabbath rest. You know, Yahushua said, I am Lord of the Sabbath. So I don't care how they try to, like they said in the book of Daniel, beware the men that will change the times in the seasons. You know, they done changed the times and they done changed the days and they done changed how we worship. And the Most High Yah is saying, no, I am the Most High Yah. I change not. Now, why y'all think I changed my Sabbath to Sunday? I said 7 days. On the seventh day, you shall rest. Can y'all count? Can y'all count? Day one, day two, day one is that sun day. He said on the seventh day that we would enter into a sweet Sabbath rest. I'm ready to enter into his rest because I'm telling you, this week right here, oh, I'm thankful for it, though. I'm thankful. You know, the Most High said, don't get weary in well-doing. You're going to reap the harvest if you faint not. So don't y'all get tired. This race ain't given to the swift nor the strong, but to he that endures to the end. And when you're walking in the kingdom, it gives you that boldness to endure. When you're walking in the kingdom, you be saying to yourself, now unto him who was able to do exceedingly abundantly above what I thought or even asked for. You know, you begin to walk differently when you're walking in the kingdom and you get an understanding that greater is he that is in me than he that was ever in this world. You know, it ain't about you. It ain't about your strength because it's not by power nor by might, but it's by the Ruach HaKodesh. And now the Most High Yah is setting up his kingdom on earth. And we have to go by the constitution of the Most High Yah. It makes me think about something. You know, we pretend like, oh, the Torah is so hard. We have to obey all those laws. But when we were in, you know, our Greek mindset, Yahushua, or that man named Jesus, nailed it all to the cross. We got grace. It's too hard to keep all them laws. How about you try keeping one? Remember his Sabbath and to keep it holy. How about you remember one? Do this in remembrance of me. How about you just do one? Since you can't keep all those commandments. The Most High is the same today, yesterday, and forevermore. He has not changed. So, you know, he says in his kingdom, except you come as this little child. You know, you got to come as a little child in the kingdom. Except you come as this little child, you will not see the kingdom of the Most High Yah. See, our problem is we come with our own thoughts, our own philosophy, our own ideology. And so we think that's what it is. You know, we went to school, we got a degree, we got a PhD in seminary. You know, we got that PhD in seminary at the cemetery, because that's a dead gospel religion. But anyway, we have to come as a child. So, you know, I work with kids all day long, running this daycare. So I had one that kind of got out of line yesterday. So I brought him, you know, to the kitchen while I was sending out the group chat. King is his name. And I said, King, what should you be doing and what should you not be doing? He is 3 years old, y'all. He about to be 4 in a couple of weeks. He's 3 years old, right? What you supposed to do, King? This little 3-year-old was like, we are not supposed to be running around Miss J house. We are not supposed to be doing this, or we are not going to get no treats, and we are not going to go to the playground, and we are not. He ran down the Constitution of Kids Club Daycare for about a good 10, 15 minutes. I was looking at him like, wow. And we claim we can't walk in the Constitution of the Most High Yah. A child shall lead them. I'm looking at King like, wow. So you know the do's and the do nots. He was like, to me, I was like, I'm looking at Deuteronomy chapter 28. So if you do all these things, King, you will get rewarded with the bouncy house. If you do all these things, King, you can go to the park. He knew the Constitution. He knew what he was supposed to do and what he was not supposed to do. So you mean to tell me we walking in this kingdom with the Most High Yah and we don't know what to do and what not to do? When he say do not fornicate, we don't know what that means.
Huh?
Well, what had happened was I was in a vulnerable state. And I went over to his house at midnight. You were so vulnerable that you went over there at midnight, though. You left your house at midnight, or you opened your door at midnight. I said, do not fornicate. Do not commit adultery.
Huh?
Well, he said him and his wife were separated. Do not commit adultery. Well, she in a whole nother state, but is that his wife? Are they divorced?
Oh.
Do not commit adultery. Don't act like y'all don't know what these laws say. And the laws are to protect you.
Mm-hmm.
I done told you about that fornication and adultery thing. 7 days you will work for free. So a lot of folks out here is broke because they out here fornicating and committing adultery. And you wonder where your money going. You're broke because you're trespassing the commandments of the Most High Yah. Do not trespass. Forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against you. Trespassing against the Most High Yah. You think of somebody taking a trespass against you. Do not lie. Hello, may I speak to Miss Edwards? You got the wrong number. Y'all know when them bill collectors be calling, y'all be like, I don't know who that is. They don't live here no more. And don't call their fault. Do not lie. You're lying. Y'all know about the Constitution, the laws of the kingdom, and y'all out here acting like y'all brand new. Like, well, it really wasn't a lie. I wasn't here. Fool, you answered the phone. What are you talking about? Do not lie. Do not bear false witness against thou neighbor. Well, I thought she had said it. I just felt like she was going to say that. And I just, do not bear false witness against our neighbor. Y'all acting like y'all don't know what a false witness is. Somebody be like this, girl, you know he said that, right? You be like this. Is that what he said? Yeah, girl, you know he said that. Yeah, that's what he said. So you gonna be a false witness. And then after y'all get by yourself, you be like this, girl, what were you talking about? I don't even know what you was talking about. But you was just a false witness. Some of y'all out here trying to pronounce a Hebrew word, but you ain't walking in the commandments. Baruch atah Adonai with your lying self. Baruch atah Adonai with your getting down in the inbox. Y'all know y'all doing it. Sending pictures and making videos. Video vixen. Yep, that's you. Come on, y'all. Let's get real. Y'all grown. Y'all grown out here. Don't act like you ain't doing it.
No.
Or you haven't done it. Out your shuva. Everybody out here like this. We were talking about the kingdom. What are you talking about? Now you getting in our personal life. Well, Yahushua would say, I came that you should have life and that you should have life more abundantly. If you want the abundance life, you better walk in the commandments of the Most High. Yeah. Well, he had said he was going to marry me. You ain't even met this man. You know nothing about this man. But he said he was going to marry you. Or she said she was going to come see about me. Yeah. Kings, don't fall for the okie doke. She is not coming to see about you. Okay. So we fall for these things, and you know we doing it. Some good, fine-looking king walk by in the inbox. Look, because you know we in the house. Some fine-looking queen come by in your inbox. Hey, brother, Baruch atah Adonai, and send you a picture. You be like, ooh, he is kind of fine though. Come on now, that's how you get caught up in your vulnerable state. And you get lonely sometimes. You be like, I just wanted to test the water. I wanted to see, was it lukewarm? Yeah. And the Most High is looking at you like, do not fornicate. Do not commit adultery. Okay. Now remember, since y'all thinking y'all not fornicating or committing adultery, Yahushua would say, I came to bring the Torah to a greater understanding. Okay. It has said that it was said that if you physically committed adultery with somebody, you committed adultery. Yeah. But I say, if you look upon a woman and you want her, Lord, You have already committed adultery or fornicated in your heart.
Ooh.
I'm gonna need you to leave that part alone because y'all thinking because y'all ain't physical. Y'all be thinking because y'all not physical that you ain't fornicating.
Mm-hmm.
You think because you send a little picture here, send a little picture there, and you do a little thing, y'all just talking.
Yeah.
You think you're not fornicating.
We just talking.
You are. So stop saying, I've been celibate all this time. You haven't.
Ooh.
He said, if you do it in your heart.
Ooh.
I gotta stop looking at Denzel Washington. I'm glad he getting a little older.
You're
now.
dumb. You're dumb.
I gotta stop looking at Shamar Moore, child. I'll be like, woo, child. That's fornication. That is fornication. I ain't looking at Shamar Moore like, oh, he's a great actor. Oh, those words he spoke out of his mouth, they were just so great. Y'all better get real with yourselves. If you gonna walk in the Torah, you better walk in the Torah all the way. Y'all better come clean today. Y'all been fornicating out here. Y'all been fornicating and committing adultery. I'm just gonna have to turn the TV off. I'll be like, come on, Mosai, come on. I'm not even doing anything. Oh, you doing something, child.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. You doing it. You done committed. Mm-hmm. So y'all out here acting like I'm so celibate. I have not been with a man in 5 years. Yeah, right. You done been with Shamar Moore, Denzel Washington. What's some of them other actors? His little son coming up now. Y'all done been with all them.
Morris Chestnut.
Morris Chestnut. Atashuva. Get real with yourselves. Because y'all think y'all all doing a great thing, but somebody in your inbox saying some stuff to you, and you say some stuff back. I'm checking your inboxes. Ooh. Everybody send me screenshots of your inbox. Y'all be like, no, Dr. J, no. Mm-hmm. Send me screenshots of your text messages. Talking about, I was just talking to King, and we were just having a great conversation. That's all we were doing. Yes. So how you think he like you while y'all just talking about the cipher? Y'all supposed to be reading the cipher, but all of a sudden you come out of the cipher talking about, girl, he like me. Get yourself together. If you gonna walk right, walk right. Ooh. Period. Okay. I'm like, Most High, where this coming from? Folks is doing stuff, Dr. J, in their inboxes, and they think they're getting away with it. You're fornicating. Ooh. You are. But we're going to get married one day, but you're not married. Ooh. You don't even know this person. Having a good old time in the inbox, and y'all grown over 50 years old. Stop it. Ooh. Now, we ain't going to talk about what the kids, they do some crazy stuff. But anyway, I'm talking to grown people this morning. Your 50-year-old self. Trying to get your groove back, Stella. Stella, you are not getting your groove back. You understand me? All right now. Queens, I know I'm coming down your street. Woo, I'm coming down your street right now, and I'm about to ring your doorbell. I'm standing on your porch. Woo. Saying, open this door. You know it's you. Woo. You know it's you. Atashuva. Atashuva. Y'all better get it right. Because y'all thinking because y'all not physically connecting with somebody. Y'all doing some, child, y'all doing some stuff. You done became a pro at taking pictures. Yeah. So y'all need to, for real, know that what the word says. Like, if we gonna walk right in this kingdom, let's walk right all together. Y'all looking at the little screen right now like, why she got to come in the inbox though? You know why she gotta mess with the inbox? Because you need to be checked on that. Oh my. Like for real. Ooh. And some of y'all be in relationships with the inbox for like 7 years. Dang. And he still ain't showed his face. Oh. You heard of a thing called catfish? Well, somebody's catfishing you, girl. Or somebody's catfishing you, king. Folks be talking to you for years and years and years and never show their face. And y'all talking about you in love, you about to get married. It's dangerous out here. I'm trying to tell y'all, it's dangerous out here. And these little catfish people, they come for folks in ministry. Because you trying to be, Father, thou art king.
Oh, wow.
Don't get caught, queens. Don't get caught, kings. And somebody that will play games with you and play games with your mind and manipulate you and deceive you and lie to you. And you about to marry somebody you don't even know. Done picked out your dress. You walking down the white beaches of a sand. You just walking down and talking about, I'm about to marry somebody. These are real stories. This ain't something that I'm making up. These are real stories. And the ministry needs to get for real. Because folks are out here taking advantage of women, taking advantage of men, manipulating folks through these inboxes, child. Don't let somebody slide in your DM talking about, you look so good today. Bye, boy, and get out of my inbox. That's what boys do. Kings will never approach you like that. And y'all better know the difference between a king and a boy. Out here running it, well, like Janae said, these men children.
Yeah.
Women too, women too, women too, women too, kings. Y'all need to beware too. We got any kings out here, King Raynard, King Stefan. Y'all need to beware too. The game done got, they done stepped up the game. When they did all this technology and all this, Google, whatever that thing is called, all that stuff. So be very, 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 very careful. I'm serious. Be careful. Because you will look up and next thing you know, you done caught all these feelings from somebody you do not know. And you'll find yourself doing things that you never thought or imagined that you would do. All in the name of love. Because you love somebody. You better be loving yourself. That's why we need this self-love, Coach K, with the queenology and all of that. That's why we need this self-love. Because we ain't loving ourselves the right way. And when you're not loving yourself the right way and you don't know your value and you don't know your worth as a queen, somebody could slide in your inbox and say some nice words and all they are words. A tree is known by the fruit that it bears, just in case y'all didn't know. A tree is known by the fruits that it bears. So some of these folks could say some real nice things to you. And the whole time they're manipulating your mind and lying to you and deceiving you. Beware. Beware. And the crazy part about these people are that they have no fear of Yah. They don't fear Yah. They will do these things to you and they don't fear him. I'm like, I would be so I ain't think about you. I would be so scared what y'all gonna do to me if I was out here manipulating a minister, a pastor, somebody walking in the community. I would be so afraid of what y'all's gonna do to me. But these folks have no conscience, y'all. This is what they do. Just because somebody crosses over Hebraically doesn't mean that they done forgot their traits and who they are and their characteristics. But we out here and we done crossed over for real. And we're making some real decisions with our lives. And we done been through some stuff. We've been manipulated. We've been deceived. We've been hoodwinked. We've been all that stuff. So this so-called king or queen come along saying the right things to you that you think are the right things, but ain't did the right thing yet. You better know faith without works is dead. And I'm being real serious right now because I talk to a lot of sisters and a lot of brothers that done got caught up in the inbox. We need to talk about it. I'm serious. We need to talk about it. They done got caught up in the inbox. Or they got caught up of somebody pursuing them. And that is not who they even were. And they fell for it. Hook, line, and sinker. And we need to talk about it. Because I would not want what I know that has happened to a close sister of mine. I would not want anybody to go through what she went through at all, period. But guess what? If we would follow the commandments, thou shalt not commit fornication, thou shalt not commit adultery, then nobody could ever slide into your inbox. You ain't married. You see, the commandments are protection. The Torah is a guardrail. It protects you. You ain't keeping no Torah. The Torah is keeping you. So therefore, if you follow the commandments of the Most High Yah, you can't get tricked up in the inbox. You ain't trying to fornicate. You ain't trying to commit adultery. And if a brother steps to you like that, or if a queen steps to you like that, you know that's not of the Most High Yah. If we're going to apply the commandments to our lives, he said, I came that you should have life and that you should have life more abundantly. If we're going to apply the commandments to our lives, we got to apply it all the way. You can't come halfway with the Most High Yah. There is no half truths, okay? There are no half lies and no half truth. You're either hot or cold. Because if you're lukewarm, he'll spew you out of his mouth. And some of y'all lukewarm. Because y'all don't know what do not fornicate means. Do not commit adultery. You don't know what that means. You know how you feel when you get lonely and when you get desperate. And because you've been abandoned and all these issues that you have, you will listen to anything some folks say to you. Stand on, do not fornicate. And see how many more so-called brothers slide into your inbox. I don't get down like that, brother. I mean, we just talking. Can you send me a picture? That's how it starts. Can you send me a picture? For what? I got 1 million pictures on my timeline. Pick one. You know, I want a picture like right now because I know what you're wearing now. What? I got 1 million pictures on my timeline. Pick one. Y'all don't understand, like when we're reading Genesis chapter 3, how the serpent was so subtle. Wow. It starts with a conversation, y'all. It don't start in the bedroom. It starts with a conversation that's so subtle. And if you notice, because the serpent is so subtle, he'll ask you all kind of questions about yourself. And here you are, queen, because you've been hurt so bad, you spilling out everything about you. Well, he did this and he did that and he left me and I was good to him. And that little serpent sitting there like this. Woo, I know what to do with you. I know exactly what to do with you. Keep talking. Because the more you talk, the more I know how to manipulate you. Wow. The more I know how to deceive you. Oh, the serpent was real subtle. Y'all got some snakes sliding around in y'all inbox. Kings and queens. Y'all better check it. Like for real. We gonna walk in these commandments or not? Like Israel said, all that the Most High Yah has said we will do. Do not fornicate. Do not commit adultery. Do not lie. Do not steal. Do not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Remember my Sabbath day and to keep it holy. He got some commandments. Yes. And I'm commanding you today to come out of your foolishness and stand up and walk in the word of the Most High Yah. And stop playing these childish games. Because if a 3-year-old know the commandments in Kids Club Daycare, trust me, you know the commandments of the Most High Yah's Torah. Ooh. Stop playing. Stop playing. Because you're going to find yourself caught up again. Folks can sell you a story, don't mean you have to believe it. Never trust an untested person. How many times I got to say that? And y'all go right on out there. Oh, well, you know, she a Hebrew sister. Hey, sister. He's a Hebrew brother. Child, okay. All right. All right. Never trust an untested person. Never. There's no way around it. Never trust an untested person. So I pray the Ruach HaKodesh spoke to you queens and kings this morning about the constitution of the Most High Yah, because Yahushua said, I got to bring this thing to a greater understanding this morning, because a lot of you are celibate. You ain't physically laid down with a man, or you ain't physically laid down with a woman, but you're doing some things that you're thinking in your mind and in your heart. You might as well go and buy that ticket and fall through with the plan. I'm serious. I'm serious. Because when we start things like that, we ain't doing nothing but hurting ourselves. We're hurting ourselves. And we don't need to do that. We kind of quiet this morning. Go on, Queen Adrian. We kind of quiet this morning. Yeah, because I mean, hey, the word should correct you, right? The word is used for correction and you should feel convicted. Because I know it ain't not one person on here that ain't entertained some stuff in the inbox. And you went too far with it. And you took it a little bit further. And the next thing you know, you was video vixen.
Oh, Lord.
So that's not what we want to do. And that's not how we want to walk. People in ministry are really getting, Queen Adrian, and this is funny how it's kind of tied into this, but not funny. The brother that you posted yesterday about somebody was catfishing him, pretending to be him. You got people out here that will put a face on like they are somebody else. And they will become your knight in shiny armor, queens. Or she will become your knight in shiny armor, kings. And it ain't bit more who it is behind that picture. It's not who they are. So if you don't think you can get catfish in ministry, you better wake up. They coming for you. Because you are in ministry. They're coming for you because you do have this good heart. They're coming for you. So y'all better wake up. And through all your getting, get an understanding that the enemy comes to kill, steal, and destroy. And he wants to destroy you. If he could, he would kill you. Folks out here stealing folks' identity. Pretending to be somebody that they're not. All in the name of love. I love you. I love you. The devil is a liar. Hasatan is a straight up lie. He told the first lie. Y'all better be listening this morning before you get caught up. And next thing you know, the next 3 years of your life are destroyed. And you're still trying to bounce back from that thing. Thank you, Queen Adrian, for sharing how the brother caught his catfish. The Most High don't do anything for no reason. Don't think he does not. Whatever's done in the dark will come to the light. And we are walking in a season of exposure. So, folks out there thinking they doing stuff, Queen Adrian, but they will be exposed. Trust me, you will be exposed. So we just gonna walk in the commandments, kings and queens, and then we don't have to worry about that. You know, sometimes we think, oh, it's just a little conversation. It's nothing. I'm just talking to them. Swipe on, swipe off, bumble, whatever that thing's called. And you think you just having a conversation. What is the purpose of the conversation? Because there's a means to the end, baby. I'm talking to grown people. What is the purpose of the conversation? Because there's a means to the end. And if you get on these different sites, they're looking for somebody, just like you are. But you're thinking that, oh no, they just want a friend. They just want somebody to talk to. Don't be ignorant. The Most High Yah said, I will not have you ignorant of Hasatan devices. That's a device of Hasatan. Ooh, never saw it like that, Most High. Yeah, it's a device of Hasatan. Do you believe the Most High?
Mm-hmm.
No, you don't. Do you believe the Most High?
Mm-hmm.
No, you don't. Because if you believe the Most High, you would believe that the Most High has a king or queen for you that he's sending, that you ain't got to swipe on or swipe off. Drop that L. Y'all, we jumping before the Most High. We getting on these dating sites. I don't care if it says Hebrews for Christians. How you got a Hebrew for Christians? You got to try to get the Christian to cross over Hebraically? I don't understand. I'm on this dating site called Hebrews for Christians. And I mean, he know that cipher Bible. He know it backwards and forward. And he about to know you backwards and forward too. Y'all better stop it. Hasatan ain't got no new tricks. It's the same old tricks. He's just using a different device now. Come on, Ruach HaKodesh this morning. Set somebody free today. These are devices. Ain't nobody on that bubble Hebraic. You swiping off and talking to this one and talking to that one and all this kind of foolishness going on. It's a means to an end. You want to go out on a date, you want to wine and dine me, and then die me. We ain't eating out no more, we eating in. You're going to get caught up. You're going to get caught up because you can't wait on the Most High. Thank you, Ruach HaKodesh. Some of y'all done watch things happen to people. You can't wait. After watching what has happened to people, just watching. Just knew the lies and the deceptions and all of that. I'm trying to tell y'all right now. Y'all better wait. You think that last relationship that was really real? I ain't talking about this fake stuff going on. This catfish that's going on out there. I'm talking about a real relationship you had that broke you to a place where you just like, I don't think I could be with nobody else. And then you're going to let somebody catfish you? Remember that thing called ghosting? That's what they do now. So somebody can get you all caught up in an emotional relationship. Don't you understand an emotional relationship is worse than a physical? Because you're constantly talking to this person. This person is constantly in your mind. This person is constantly all out through your day. Mental is worse than physical. Do you understand if somebody gets your mind, your body coming? First, I get your mind. I control your mind. I ain't got to worry about your body. It's coming. We have a constitution in the kingdom. And we walk in the characteristics of our Abba. And all that Abba says, we shall do. Swipe or no swiping. Swipe on, swipe off. All right. I'm done with the Constitution. I am done with the Constitution. Oh, it got a little quiet up in my house. At first it was, ooh, oh, stop playing. Stop playing with the Most High. You're either all in or you all out. You either trust him all the way or you don't trust him at all. This is not the time to lean to your own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge what the Most High Yah has said, because he is directing your path. He's the author and finisher of your faith. He is, not you. He knew you before he formed you in your mother's womb. He knows every hair that's numbered on your head. Your name is graven in his hand. You think he forgot about you? You think he don't know your needs? He said he would give you the desires of your heart. Just don't get in his way and go about it the wrong way. Period. That's just the bottom line. And I know folks say, well, Dr. J, how we going to ever find somebody? I mean, we live at home. Oh, because the Most High, he just live. He not omnipresent. He just not everywhere, is he? He not everywhere. The problem is you trying to do it. You can't try to do it. It's all about the Most High. I'm a living witness. You cannot do it. You can't. You can't. You just cannot. Period. And so we'll just wait on Yah, because the word says they that wait upon the Most High shall renew their strength. I know you're tired, child. I know you're tired. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. So it's a serious matter that if we're going to walk in the Torah, that we know what the Torah is. And Yahushua was said, I did not come to abolish the law, but I came to bring it to a greater understanding. So now that you understand fornication, you better get some folks out of your inbox. You better stop entertaining conversations. Never trust an untested person. The Ruach HaKodesh is coming to protect some of us today, because we need that protection. We do. You know, sometimes we believe everything somebody says, and it's a flat out lie. And when we have a heart the heart that we have, and some of us have a heart, we love hard. We love hard. When we say we love you, we love you. We love hard. And so that type of character, that kind of person, that's a deceiver, that's a manipulator, they will deceive you because you believe everything they say. And by the time you know it, you so caught up, you don't know how to get out. The Ruach HaKodesh is expose the lies and the manipulation, but you still there because there's a mental and even physical. There's a mental attachment to your mind. That takes some walking out of. You really got to walk out of that. Like for real. It takes everything that you have to walk out of a mental relationship that was never physical. And the crazy part, the Most High Yah sets an example right in front of you. Sets an example right in front of you. Ooh. We got to get back to the Constitution of the kingdom and trust the Most High Yah. Period. Woo, Most High. I come lifting up everyone on YouTube live this morning. The ones that are listening live and the ones that will listen later. You said you will no longer have us ignorant of Hasatan devices. The enemy comes to kill, steal, and destroy. Thank you for your hedge of protection around us called the Torah. The Torah is life. The Torah is light. The Torah is a guardrail. The Torah is protection. Let your Ruach HaKodesh today lead and guide us into all truth. Decrease us as you give the increase. We are not sufficient of ourselves. All sufficiency lies on the inside of you. I thank you for Raphael, who's bringing complete healing to us right now. I thank you for Uriel that would light up every inbox, every dark place, every manipulation, every lie, every deception that would even try to come into our lives. I thank you for Gabriel, who has a message. Never trust an untested person. I thank you for Michael, who would war for us when we take a stand against the kingdom of darkness. We are the children of light. What does light have to do with darkness? The fellowship. I will forever give you all the glory, all the honor, and all the praise. And it's in the mighty, mighty name of Yahushua I pray. All praises to the Most High Yah. All praises to the Most High Yah. Come on in here, Queen Erica, my niece. Bocato, Grand Rising, Queen Erica, Queen Adrian, Queen Regina, Queen Evelyn, Coach K, Grand Rising, Bocato, King Stefan, King Reynard, King Dave, and whoever else is up in here. I honor you today. And I need you to use wisdom. This is very serious. If you just came on and you didn't get to listen to the beginning of this teaching, I'm going to need you to go back to the beginning. Because there's a warning. Things are happening to us through this whole internet, all this stuff. Things are happening to us. And if we are not aware of it, we're going to find ourselves going through the same thing somebody else went through because you didn't use wisdom. The word says if 2 or 3 gather together in his name, that he would be in the midst. The word says if 2 touch and agree on anything, it shall be done. And I know I can't do nothing this morning without this word being established through the law, the prophets, and the writings. So the method style of study, it is a process of studying the word of Ahaya, Asha, Ahaya, which is I am that I am in Hebrew, the great I am, the Yah of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And we seek his guidance in living a kingdom lifestyle. The Torah is the Most High Yah's teachings and instructions in 613 principles. Is where the Creator speaks, mother. And then we search the witnesses through the books of the prophets, the Nevi'im, and the books of the writings, the Ketuvim, collectively the Torah, the Nevi'im, and the Ketuvim, or identified as the Tanakh, which is the Old Testament's proper title, and is the only book that Yahushua studied in reference throughout the New Testament. Genesis chapter 42, verse 45. Then Joseph commanded to fill their sacks with corn and to restore every man's money into his sack and to give them provision for the way. And thus did he unto them. Restore. Thank you, Most High Yah. Today we look to the word restore. Hebrews number 8421, Shub. To come back, specifically to reply, answer, restore, return, and answer. The Torah testifies. Leviticus chapter 6, verse 5. Or all that about which he has sworn falsely, he shall even restore it in the principal, and shall add the 5th part more thereto, and give it unto him to whom it pertaineth, in the day of his trespass offering. You better come on, Most High Yah. Deuteronomy chapter 22, verse 2. And if thou brother be not nigh unto thee, Or if thou know him not, then thou shalt bring it unto thy own house, and it shall be with thee until thou brother seek after it, and thou shalt restore it to him again. The prophets proclaim. Nehemiah chapter 5, verse 11. Restore, I pray you, to them, even this day, their lands, their vineyards, their olive yards, and their houses, also the 100th part of the money, repartation, and of the corn, the wine, and the oil that ye exact of them. Nehemiah chapter 5, verse 12. Then said they, we will restore them and will require nothing of them. So will we do as thou sayest. Then I called the priests and took an oath of them that they should do according to this promise. The writings bear witness. Job chapter 20, verse 18. That which he labored for shall he restore, and shall not swallow it down. According to his substance shall the restitution be, and he shall not rejoice therein. Psalms chapter 51, verse 12. Restore unto me the joy of thy salvation, and uphold me with thou free spirit. We have completed the method style of study this morning, review and restore. First, we recognize the standards set in the Torah in 613 principles. Then we search the witnesses in the books of the prophets, the Nevi'im, and the books of the writings, the Ketuvim, collectively the Torah, the Nevi'im, and the Ketuvim, or identified as the Tanakh, which is the Old Testament's proper title. It is the only book that Yahushua studied in reference throughout the New Testament. 5 a.m. prayer. The Most High Yah has restored his kingdom to us through the King's Son, Yahushua, and it is time to change your way of thinking and be restored to his kingdom principles for kingdom living. Isaiah chapter 1, verse 26. And I will restore thou judges as at the first, and thou counselors as at the beginning. Afterwards thou shalt be called the city of righteousness, the faithful city. Shalom Aleichem. Peace be unto you, 5 a.m. prayer community. The Most High is returning us and restoring us to his original kingdom concept. It is time to return to the original and stop walking in this dysfunctional system of man. All right now. So now, are you ready for the word of Yah, the father of Abraham, the father of Isaac, the father of Jacob? Are you ready for the word of Yah, the father of Abraham, the father of Isaac, the father of Jacob? This morning we are coming out of the book of Genesis, Bereshit in Hebrew. Genesis chapter 3 in its entirety, and I need you to hear this word with understanding. Again, we are coming out of the book of Genesis. Genesis chapter 3, Bereshit in Hebrew, in its entirety, and it reads, now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Most High Yah had made. And he said unto the woman, yea, as Yah said, ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden. And the woman said unto the serpent, we may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, Yah has said, ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die. And the serpent said unto the woman, ye shall not surely die, Yah does know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree to be desired to make one wise, she took of the fruit thereof, and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat. And the eyes of them both were opened, and they knew that they were naked. And they sewed fig leaves together and made themselves aprons. And they heard the voice of the Most High Yah walking in the garden in the cool of the day. And Adam and his wife hid themselves from the presence of the Most High among the trees of the garden. If you ever have to do something that you got to hide yourself, you know that's against the commandments of the Most High Yah. And the Most High Yah called unto Adam and said unto him, Where art thou? And he said, I heard thy voice in the garden, and I was afraid, because I was naked, and I hid myself. And he said, Who told thee that thou wast naked? Hast thou eaten of the tree whereof I commanded thee that thou shouldest not eat? Ooh, come on, Ruach HaKodesh. And the man said, The woman who thou gavest to be with me, she gave me of the tree, and I did eat. And the Most High Yah said unto the woman, What is this that thou hast done? And the woman said, The serpent beguiled me, and I did eat. Hasatan is not gone, y'all. This is the kingdom of darkness that we live in. And we done woke up into the kingdom of light. Don't think he's not going to entice you. Don't think he's not going to try to seduce you. Don't think he don't know every desire that you have. And the woman said, The serpent beguiled me, and I did eat. And the Most High Yah said unto the serpent, Because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle, and above every beast of the field. Upon thy belly shalt thou go, and dust shalt thou eat all the days of thy life. And I will put enmity between thee and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed. It shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel. Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow in thy conception. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee. And unto Adam he said, Because thou hast hearkened to the voice of thy wife, and hast eaten of the tree of which I commanded thee, saying, Thou shalt not eat of it. Cursed is the ground for thy sake, and sorrow shalt thou eat of it all the days of thy life. Thorns also with thistles. Thorns also in thistles shall it bring forth to thee. And thou shalt eat the herb of the field. And the sweat of thy face shalt thou eat bread, till thou return unto the ground. From out of it was thou taken, for dust thou art, and unto dust shalt thou return. And Adam called his wife name Eve, because she was the mother of all living. Unto Adam also and to his wife did the Most High Yah make coats of skin and clothe them. And the Most High Yah said, Behold, the man is become as one of us, to know good and evil. And now, lest he put forth his hand and take also of the tree of life and eat and live forever. Therefore the Most High Yah sent him forth from the Garden of Eden to till the ground from whence he was taken. So he drove out the man, and he placed at the east of the Garden of Eden cherubims. and a flaming sword, which turned every way to keep the way of the tree of life. May the Most High Yah add a blessing to the reading and hearing of his most holy word. We were given commands before the Torah was ever written at Mount Sinai. The kingdom is built on the command, the word of the Most High Yah. Don't ever forget it. Baptism with fire. Now, we talked about baptism on yesterday. That is baptizing you into the school of thought. So let's talk about baptism with fire. Water baptism aligned and identified Yahushua's followers with his kingdom teaching. But what had John meant when he said that Yahushua would baptize with the Ruach HaKodesh and with fire? The baptism with the Ruach HaKodesh, which we will talk about in more detail in later teachings, is the consummation of identification with the king in his kingdom, as well as a reception of the power of the heavenly kingdom. The Ruach HaKodesh is the personification of the heavenly government. To be baptized in this way means you are immersed in kingdom philosophy and lifestyle, and that it has total influence over your thoughts and actions. The word philosophy is derived from the Greek word philophos, which is a combination of two smaller Greek words. Philos mean fond or beloved, and sophos means wise. So philosophos means a fondness for or a love of wise things. You better come on, Most High Yah. Disciples of kingdom philosophy are to fall in love with the mind and will of the king, so that his mind and will becomes theirs and their actions mirror his. You better come on, Ruach HaKodesh. As the wise King Solomon wrote, as a person thinks within himself, so he is. This process of transformation into kingdom thinking and lifestyle is absolutely necessary, because the Creator King has declared this about the rebellious inhabitants of earth. My thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways. As the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts. Our thoughts and ways need to become realigned with the Creator Kings, and we do this by identifying completely with kingdom thinking, submitting to the master of the kingdom, and being baptized into his power. Ooh, come on now. The way to fully live out the life of the kingdom, therefore, is to be baptized with the Ruach. We are to be totally submerged in the Creator King's frame of reference and mindset, so that we always think his thoughts, live his thoughts, and manifest his life. The Gospel of Luke tells us that following his baptism by John, Yahushua was full of the Ruach HaKodesh, and was led by the Ruach in the desert, where for 40 days he was tempted by Hasatan. When he emerged from that experience, having overcome each temptation, Luke further records Yahushua returned to Galilee in the power of the Ruach, and the book of Matthew adds, from that time on, Yahushua began to preach, repent, for the kingdom of heaven is near. The message of the kingdom and the fullness and power of the Ruach are intimately connected. Come on, Ruach HaKodesh. So the king's son demonstrated the influence of the kingdom on earth. The king's son not only spoke the message of the kingdom, but he also lived it out. His entire life on earth was evidence of kingdom rulership. Everything Yahushua said or did was the administration of the king's father's will through the power of the governor within him. He spoke about this reality with statements such as, number one, my teaching is not my own. It comes from him who sent me. Number two, these words you hear are not my own. They belong to the Father who sent me. Number four, my Father is always at his work to this very day, and I too am working. Number five, I and the Father are one. Number six, I tell you the truth. The Son can do nothing by himself. He can do only what he sees his Father doing, because whatever the Father does, the Son does. For the Father loves the Son and shows him all he does. Number six, do not believe me unless I do what the Father does. Say that again. Do not believe me unless I do what my Father does. But if I do it, even though you do not believe me, believe the miracles, that you may know and understand that the Father is in me and I in the Father. Number seven, if Yah were your Father, you would love me, for I came from Yah and now am here. I have not come on my own, but he sent me. Number eight, I came from the Father and entered the world. Now I am leaving the world and going back to the Father. In the Old Testament accounts we review in the previous teaching, we saw that what we call miracles were actually evidence of kingdom influence on earth. The same thing applies to the miracles Yahushua performed. The administration of the kingdom could be seen whenever Yahushua healed someone who was sick. Power over the effects of humanity's rebellion. Delivered someone who was possessed by an agent of Hasatan. Power over the kingdom of darkness. Fed thousands by multiplying small amount of food. Power over the natural world. Or raise people from the dead. Power to give life. These acts were confirmation of heavenly dominion over the environment of earth. They were demonstrations of kingdom power over circumstances. Yahushua was saying, in essence, what you see is what the heavenly government is doing. I'm just manifesting it. Say that again. Yahushua was saying, in essence, what you see is what the heavenly government is doing. I'm just manifesting it. The king's son died to redeem and restore human beings to the King Father in his kingdom. Say that again, Dr. J, just in case you thought he died just to save you. The king's son died to redeem and restore human beings to the King Father in his kingdom. The King's Son's mission on earth was not only to deliver the message and demonstrate the influence of the kingdom, but also to provide a way for human beings to re-enter the kingdom and be reconciled to the King's Father. The children's separation from the Father because of their rebellion had to be addressed. And the only way their holiness, integrity, or internal wholeness and devotion to the Father could be restored was through a sacrifice. As we saw, the Old Testament animal sacrifices of the tabernacle and the temple were only temporary. Animal sacrifices were not equitable blood payment for the rebellion and the culture of hatred and death that human beings had brought to earth. Animal sacrifice did not have the power to change the perpetually evil hearts of the world's inhabitants. Only human blood could make restitution for the rebellion of bloodshed of humanity. Instead of making the people pay for their rebellion with their own blood, however, the Father sent the Son to earth as a human being to pay for it with his blood. The Son took the punishment of all the inhabitants of earth, which allowed them to be reconciled to the kingdom. This was the ultimate reason for his incarnation. The King's Son could reconcile the inhabitants of the King's Father because he was Kadosh, holy. Again, in his humanity, Yahushua was like other human beings in all ways except one. He had no rebellion in him or double-mindedness towards the kingdom. He was fully integrated, devoted, and set apart for the King Father. He lived within a human body because he wanted to go through every aspect of human experience. He desired to feel what we feel and experience everything about being human without the rebellion. Ooh, this is good. Yahushua demonstrated by his life what it meant to be a human being with the governor living within. He was true humanity rightly related to the King Father and his kingdom. Yahushua's death on a crucifixion stake at the place called Calvary, meaning skull, was the plan of the Father to provide for the return of the governor. It was not a mistake, but part of the program. The earthly temple with its sacrifices would no longer be needed because the heavenly temple had arrived in Yahushua's own body. The Ruach HaKodesh was present within him. Again, Yahushua was able to be the ultimate sacrifice because he was fully alive with the King and lived a perfect life. Yahushua explained the nature of his death before he died. The reason my Father loves me is that I laid down my life. Say that again, Dr. J. The reason my Father loves me is that I laid down my life only to take it up again. No one takes it from me, but I lay it down on my own accord. I have authority to lay it down and authority to take it up again. This command I received from my Father. The King's Son laid down his life in payment for the rebellion of all humanity, past and present. When this was paid, the King, the Father, gave him authority to take up his life again, and he was raised from the dead. The author of life chose to die because of his love for the human beings whom he had created. He desired to rescue them from the kingdom of darkness so they could live within the kingdom of heaven once more. Paul described our entrance to the kingdom through the king's son's sacrifice as walking in newness of life. Do you not know that as many of us as were baptized into Hamashiach, Yahushua was baptized into his death? Therefore, we were buried with him through baptism into death, that just as Hamashiach was raised from the dead by the glory of the Father, even so we also should walk in the newness of life. Some people wish they could go back to the days Yahushua died and prevent his death. We would all want to spare anyone from the kind of death. However, his dying was necessary to fulfill the Father's restoration plan. Yahushua's death wasn't forced upon him. He chose it for the express purpose of saving the world and releasing the governor to earth again. Once more, before he was crucified, Yahushua made his choice very clear, saying, I am the good shepherd. I know my sheep, and my sheep know me. Just as the Father knows me, and I know the Father. And I lay down my life for the sheep. I have other sheep that are not of this sheep pen. Come on now, Most High. I must bring them also. They too will listen to my voice. And there shall be one flock and one shepherd. Yahushua told his followers beforehand that he was going to die to pay for the rebellion of humanity, even though they didn't comprehend it at the time. He said, this is what is written, was predicted by the king's prophet. The Hamashiach will suffer and rise from the dead on the third day. Yahushua therefore wasn't killed as a tragic mistake. He gave up his life in sacrifice so we could be cleansed vessels for the governor to live in. He kept moving forward with the restoration plan until everything was set in place for our reconciliation with the Father. Just before he died, he said, it is finished. The enemies of Yahushua didn't finish him. He gave up his life when he was finished with his mission. Just before his arrest, he prayed, Abba, the time has come. Glorify your Son, that your Son may glorify you. For you granted him authority over all the people, that he might give eternal life to all those you have given him. Now this is eternal life, that they may know you, the only true Yah, and Yahushua HaMashiach, whom you have sent. I have brought you glory on earth by completing the work you gave me to do. And now, Abba, glorify me in your presence with the glory I had with you before the world began. Again, Yahushua wasn't a helpless victim of jealous enemies. He is the King of glory who overcame both sin and death. Notice that he prayed to the Father. I have brought you glory on earth by completing the work you gave me to do. The Old Testament prophet Habakkuk had foretold, the earth will be filled with the knowledge of the glory of the Most High as the waters cover the sea. Because Yahushua completed the work of restoration, the glory nature of the kingdom of heaven was released and began to spread throughout the earth. The king's son destroyed the Ruach of independence in rebellion in the colony. Yahushua's death at Calvary, the blood that he shed on a crucifixion stake, and his resurrection from the dead were required in order to break the spirit of rebellion in humanity. I use the word spirit because rebellion is really an attitude or nature within every human being. It's something we're born with. It is ingrained within us. This spirit is antithetical to the kingdom of heaven. It couldn't be washed away or ignored. It had to be broken. And Yahushua did break this power, allowing the earth's inhabitants to instead yield to the Ruach HaKodesh. Paul wrote, for the sinful nature desires what is contrary to the Ruach. Come on, Most High, y'all. Come on, introduction. Flow together now. Let it be established. Paul wrote, for the sinful nature desires what is contrary to the Ruach. And the Ruach, what is contrary to the sinful nature. They are in conflict with each other, so that you do not do what you want. Come on, Most High, y'all. But if you are led by the Ruach, you are not under the law. The Most High, y'all, had to put you under the law because you were not being ruled by the Ruach. Do not fornicate. Now you under the law. Do not commit adultery. Now you under the law because you're not being ruled by the Ruach. Huh? Paul wrote, bring it down. Paul wrote, for the sinful nature desires what is contrary to the Ruach. And the Ruach, what is contrary to the sinful nature. They are in conflict with each other so that you do not do what you want. But if you are led by the Ruach, you are not under the law. Breaking a spirit of independence is very difficult. But this is what Yahushua accomplished. He gave us the ability to say to the Father, as he himself said at most difficult points in his earthly life, not my will, but yours be done. He provided for the spirit of rebellion to be replaced with a spirit of yieldness to the kingdom. He gave us the ability to obey the will of the Father. In fact, Yahushua said that submitting to him was the same thing as submitting to the Father, since he and the Father are one. If you love me, he said to his followers, you will obey what I command. And I will ask the Father, and he will give you another counselor, the governor, to be with you forever. Can you imagine anyone in America politics telling the voters, do everything I say? They would think he was crazy because we're taught not to trust anyone like that. But Yahushua came to bring back the perfect government in the kingdom of heaven. Trust in the King's Son. is the only way to experience life. In the kingdom of heaven, independence from the king's son brings death, as Yahushua explained to his Talmudims. Remain in me. Say that again, Dr. J. Remain in me, and I will remain in you. No branch can bear fruit by itself. It must remain in the vine. Neither can you bear fruit unless you remain in me. I am the vine, you are the branches. If a man remains in me and I in him, he will bear much fruit. Apart from me, you can do nothing. If anyone does not remain in me, he is like a branch that is thrown away and withers. Such branches are picked up, thrown into the fire, and burned. Come on, Queen Adrian. Yahushua was destroying the idea of independence and rebellion, showing that this leads to deadly consequences. In contrast, dependence on him leads to life, because apart from him, you can do nothing. We are to be dependent on him so that he can help us be what we were created to be. Paul discovered this truth firsthand. Yahushua told him, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Paul's response was to say, when I am weak, then I am strong in the power of the kingdom. The key then to being freed from the grip of rebellion, restored to wholeness and devotion to the King Father, and released in the power and life of the Ruach, is to acknowledge and receive the cleansing that the King's Son accomplished for us when he paid for our rebellion through his death. He was the ultimate sacrifice for the rebellious nature of humanity. It was a sacrifice for all humanity. It is available for all people. Yet each human being must make a personal decision to commit to Yahushua's kingdom school and enter into the kingdom by accepting his sacrifice to break the spirit of rebellion and by desiring to realign with the king. As he does this, he will receive the nature of the kingdom within. He lives with you and will be in you. Oh, this is good. He lives in you. He lives with you and will be in you. This brings us back to what Yahushua told his followers about the governor, the Ruach of the king. He lives with you and will be in you. Yahushua's followers had seen the demonstrations of the governor's power lived out in his life. The governor's work were manifested on the earth, but no other human being besides Yahushua had the Ruach HaKodesh living within. Yahushua was promising that the disciples, through his sacrifice, the governor would be coming back to live within them. Also, just as as had been promised since Genesis chapter 3, when the rebellion occurred. This would not only align them with the nature and thinking of the kingdom, but it would also empower them to live it out, just as Yahushua lived it out on earth. Soon the governor would be taking up his official residence again in the citizens of the kingdom on earth, as the prophet Joel had foretold. The king's son's ultimate reason for coming to earth the king's son's ultimate reason for coming to earth after his resurrection. Yahushua told his Talmudim, I am going to send you what my father has promised. The king's son was restating the essential reason for his ministry. This next statement may shock a few people, but I believe it is vital for us to understand. The promise of the Father was not Yahushua's suffering, his death on Calvary, or even his resurrection. Over the centuries, the Christian church has emphasized these aspects of Yahushua's ministry to the point that I believe the ultimate reason he endured them has been obscured. Through the years, people, especially religious people, has changed the meaning of the Father's promise to humanity. Christianity has become the celebration of what Yahushua did rather than a reception of the reason he did it. We have declared a message that Yahushua never gave. Say that again, Dr. J. We have declared a message that Yahushua never gave. We've changed the promise into one of leaving this earth and going to heaven, when what we're called to is restore dominion over the earth through the indwelling of the Ruach. The result is that we have worshiped Calvary rather than benefiting from it. Come on, Ruach HaKodesh. The result is that we have worshiped Calvary rather than benefiting from it. Yahushua's suffering, death, and resurrection were the means to an end. The reconciliation of humanity to the King, and ultimately the restoration of the Ruach HaKodesh to humanity. They were not ends in themselves. We've made the process the purpose. We've made the process the purpose. The promise of the Father was the reappointment of the Ruach as a result of these things. The entire reason for the king's sons coming into the world was to break the stronghold of Hasatan, destroying the grip of rebellion for human beings, and reconnect them to their king father so that the governor could be restored to them. The Ruach is what all human beings need in order to be realigned with the king and fulfill their purposes on earth. We should note that John the Baptist never emphasized the blood or death or resurrection of Yahushua. He emphasized the Ruach HaKodesh because John was expressing the specific reason for his coming. He will baptize you with the Ruach HaKodesh and with fire. Humanity is not in need of a religion. We don't need rituals and traditions. We need this promise of the Father to be a reality in our lives. We must come to truly understand that the Ruach HaKodesh is the heavenly government personified. He is a source of the power of the kingdom in our lives. The Old Testament experience of the priests and the prophets was only a shadow of what was to come. At that time, the Ruach HaKodesh couldn't live in human beings. He could only be among them. But now, Yahushua was saying, the Ruach of truth lives with you and will be in you. As I said earlier, every miracle of Yahushua, every healing, every act of dominion, whether it was walking on water, casting out demons, or cleansing a leper, was not for entertainment or for making an impression, nor was it for the purpose of creating a religion or providing interesting material for preaching. These things were for the purpose of producing evidence to the world that the of the kingdom had returned to earth and would soon live within humanity again. Woo-wee. Just before Yahushua died, he gave his Talmudim many instructions, and these instructions had important information about the governor. He was trying to tell them, in effect, everything I'm about to suffer is all about my purposes concerning the Ruach HaKodesh in your lives and in the lives of those who will believe in the future. He told them, in essence, I'm going to leave you. But don't panic or worry. The governor is going to come back. He will be with you forever, and he'll never forsake you. A striking illustration of the governor return at the moment of Yahushua's death. The curtain in the temple separating the people from the Holy of Holies tore into from top to bottom, signifying that Yahushua had provision for human beings to be holy and receive the Ruach once more. The Ruach no longer had to be separated from them, dwelling only between the cherubims on a mercy seat that had been sprinkled with the blood of animals. Because of Yahushua's ultimate blood sacrifice, the Ruach could once more be at home within human beings, giving them direct access to the king, the goal of the king. The king's desire to restore the Ruach HaKodesh to humanity, therefore, is what made the entire redemptive program of Yahushua HaMashiach necessary. The principal goal and primary purpose of Yahushua coming into the world was to deliver the governor of heaven to the colony of earth. Everything else was a means to that end. He didn't come to bring us to heaven. He came to bring heaven to earth. This is why our master teacher taught us to pray. And what we call the Most High Yah's prayer, that the King Father influence, will intent, and laws be done on earth, the colony as they are in heaven, the home country. The Roman Empire as a type of the heavenly kingdom. The best time in history for the concept of the heavenly kingdom to be fully communicated to the inhabitants of earth was during the time of the Roman Empire. And this is a major reason why the king's son, the Mashiach, was born at that time. It was not a random choice by the king. It was a perfect time. Paul wrote, when the time had fully come, Yah sent his son, born of a woman, born under law, to redeem those under law, that we might receive the full rights of sons. Because you are sons, Yah sent the Ruach of his son into our hearts, the Ruach who calls out, Abba, Father. So you are no longer a slave, but a son. And since you are a son, Yah has made you also an heir. The structure and functioning of the Roman Empire, though not its moral nature at the time of Yahushua, served as a type of the kingdom of heaven. For those living under its rule in Palestine, the analogy would have been obvious. Caesar was the emperor or king of Rome, and he was a type of heavenly king. Caesar sent Pilate to be his procurator or governor over region of Judea to oversee it and create the culture of the Roman Empire there. Similarly, Yahushua said that when he returned to the Father, the governor would be released to earth, enabling the inhabitants to fulfill the will of the king on earth once more, making it into a replica of the kingdom of the Most High Yah. Woo-wee! This is the 6th day, and the Most High Yah is opening the windows of heaven and pouring us out a blessing that we don't have room to receive. It's about his king and a kingdom. It's about his commandment, his statutes, and his ordinance. You got to get yourself in alignment with the Most High Yah. If you have to go into realignment, you got to realign some things in your life to come out of the mindset of a religious mindset, of a Western mindset. I'm talking about walking in the traditions of men. You got to come out of some stuff in order to walk in kingdom principles for kingdom living. That's the only way that you're going to walk this thing out. So Yahushua said that when he returned to the Father, the governor would be released to earth, enabling the inhabitants to fulfill the will of the king on earth once more, making it into a replica of the kingdom of heaven. Yahushua told his Talmudims, when the counselor comes, whom I will send to you from the Father, the Ruach of truth, who goes out from the Father, he will testify about me. And I am going to send you what my Father has promised. But stay in the city until you have been clothed with power from on high. Political concepts familiar to the people of the time were present for them to come to understand that Yahushua was talking about the return of the governor to earth to enable them to fulfill the will and work of the kingdom of heaven. Interestingly, Yahushua's enemies recognized that his message was about a kingdom, not a religion. This kingdom demanded full loyalty to the King Father through the King Son, because Yahushua's enemies did not want to submit to the authority of the heavenly government. They sought to kill him. They told Pilate that Yahushua was a threat to the political order of the day, saying, "We have no king but Caesar." In this way, they pressured Pilate into choosing between killing an innocent man and appearing to support a king other than Caesar. He caved to the pressure and allowed Yahushua to be crucified. He was responsible for his choice, even though Yahushua's death was part of the heavenly restoration plan. Every person essentially faces the same choice. Allegiance to the kingdom of heaven does not allow for any person or anything to take place of the king. The release and reception of the governor. After the king's son's life on earth, a process unfolded by which the governor was given to his followers. First, of course, the Ruach HaKodesh dwelled within the body of Yahushua, the first human being to have the Ruach within him since Adam and Eve. When Yahushua died on a crucifixion stake, eyewitnesses and disciples John recorded that he gave up his spirit. Although this term can be a description for taking one's last breath, I believe it also has a deeper significance here. The Greek word for give up means to yield up. Therefore, I think this term means that Yahushua also released the Ruach HaKodesh back to the Father in heaven at his death. When Yahushua was resurrected, he was raised by the power of the Ruach, and the Ruach again dwelled in him. Paul wrote, "And if the Ruach of him who raised Yahushua from the dead is living in you, he who raised Hamashiach from the dead will also give life to your mortal bodies through his Ruach, who lives in you." Just as the king's son raised from death by the Ruach dwelled in him. Those who enter the kingdom through the king's son's sacrifice will also receive the Ruach HaKadosh. At Yahushua's resurrection, then, the Ruach was now poised to return to humanity and rescue lives that had lived in rebellion, confusion, and despair under the kingdom of darkness, just as the Ruach brought life out of emptiness in order from chaos at creation of the earth. He would transform the earth once more into the colony of heaven through the return of the kingdom in the lives of its citizens. All praises to the Most High Yah. All praises to the Most High Yah. I can do all things through Mashiach, who strengthens me.
Now connected to S's
I can do all things through Mashiach, who strengthens me.
If I should ever leave and wanna come home, please don't close the door on me. If I should go astray,
Hallelujah! Hallelujah! Through all your getting, get and understand.
I should go astray.
Bless your name, Yah. Yes! Now the intro makes sense. If I should ever leave, don't close the door. Oh,
I should go astray.
and I know your love. I know your love. Bless your name, Yah. If I should ever leave, I know you will. Oh, if I should go, I know your love. If I should, I know your love. I know your love. Oh, if I should. If I go astray, if I, hallelujah! Ever leave. If I ever leave, oh, please don't close your door on me and mortify. I know your love will bring you home. Most High is so good. The Most High is so good. If you would just be obedient to what he says. Because sometime in the intro, when the Ruach is giving me things to say, I'll be like, Most High, that ain't, I don't want to say that. Because, I know people. They take things personal. They take it like I'm talking about them or I'm saying something to them. He said, you better keep on speaking what I say. And the more I spoke what he said, the more my Ruach was in line with what he was saying. All I can do is teach what the Most High Yah has given me to teach. Even if it's in the intro and it might convict you, you need to be convicted. And for that entire word to flow into the intro, all the way from Genesis chapter 3, all the way into the teaching, I can't do this. I can do nothing aside from him. Everything I do, I'm yield to the Spirit. I'm thankful that I didn't shut my mouth. I'm thankful that I will just walk in his word. No matter how you feel. It's about you living your life right and getting correction. I come from religion where they taught us, oh, you just keep bumping your head long enough, you'll get it right. Or you'll learn from your mistakes. I don't want to learn from my mistakes. I want to know how to live my life and have life more abundantly. I don't want to go through the same things my mama went through or my sisters have gone through. I want to live my life abundantly. And the only way I can do that is to follow the commands of the Most High Yah. No, I'm not perfect. But at least I know how to make better choices. I lay before you life and death, blessings and curses. Choose life. That's all he's saying. Choose life. Choose life. And we're still walking in the keys of the kingdom. And tomorrow at noon, Mountain Standard Time, he's coming with some more keys. There is no way you can say you don't know how to live your life after these kingdom teachings. And we're not even done yet. There's no way. You are without excuse. There's no more, well, my pastor has said. If ye love me, keep my commandments. You can do all things through Mashiach, who strengthens you. Tonight, we're going into some sweet Sabbath rest. This is a way to go into some rest. Y'all share this video. Y'all go back and listen to this video again because this was powerful. This was so, so powerful. He gives us real life lessons. You may not like some of the lessons that we have to go through, but he gives us real life lessons. I done turned all my L's, my losses, into lessons. It's time for me to live my best life. It's time for me to live my best life. Because I have turned all my losses into lessons. It was good for me that I was afflicted. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Y'all don't want to miss the keys on tomorrow. He's giving us the keys of the kingdom. 12 noon Mountain Standard Time. May the Most High Yah bless you and keep you. May the Most High Yah make his face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. May the Most High Yah lift up his countenance upon you and give you his peace. All praises to the Most High Yah. For this word today, all praises to the Most High Yah. All praises to the Most High Yah. So get to the blog spot, get to Facebook, get to YouTube. It will encourage you. Have a supernatural day 6 going into day 7, going into his Sabbath rest. Shabbat shalom. I love you, love you, love you. Oh, I love you. You know I love you. Bye now. So good. So good.